Okay, so for this video, I'll be discussing strings in C language. So the objectives of this video is for us to understand what are strings and also to discuss some of the string functions that are included in the string.h header and also built in C language. So C strings. Strings are actually one-dimensional array of characters terminated by a null character. So we have car greeting 6. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the 6th character is actually a null character. By the way, other C language compiler will not accept an empty character. So instead, you use \0 to denote null character. So notice that the last character is null character, so this one. And this is also the same as car greetings hello. So in this case, the null string is automatically added by C language. So internally, it should be something like this. So we have here the index. So we have HELLO, and then on the fifth index will be a \0. So that's the contents of the array. Okay. So and then here is actually the address. So of course, as we have learned that an array, the address is actually contiguous. So we have the contiguous addresses of these elements of the array. So this is 23451, 23452, 23453, etc. So that is how a string is stored inside the computer. So actually, you do not place the null characters, I have mentioned this a while ago, at the end of a string constant. The C compiler automatically places the null character or \0 at the end of the string when it initializes the array. So here's an example. So include standard IOH, include standard library.h. So you can also include string.h, especially if you're going to manipulate string. But here, since we're going to just print the string, then no need. So here we have car greeting 6 hello. So again, instead of just a blank character, we use \0. The print f greeting message %s. So that's a string, then greeting. So the output of this will be greeting message colon and then hello, because that's content of this array. Okay, so just try to examine again and analyze the code. Okay, so let's proceed to the next one. So here are examples of string functions. So just some of the string functions in C language. So we have strcpy. So we just could not type, let's say for example, string 1 is equal to string 2. So we don't do that. In C language, we use the strcpy or string copy. So we're in here, the contents of string 2 will be placed in string 1. So copies string S2 into string S1. Again, the contents of S2 will be placed in S1. Then next we have strcat, or that's for the shortcut for concatenate. So concatenate means we're going to join strings. So here in this example, we have S1, S2. So this will concatenate string S2 onto the end of string S1. So S1 will become a bigger string. strlength returns the length of S1. So that's it. So strlength returns the length of S1. And then strcompare S1, S2. So returns 0 if S1 and S2 are the same. So if they are equal, it returns 0. It returns less than 0 or a negative number if S1 is lesser than S2. And then a greater than 0 value if S1 is higher than S2. So as if we are subtracting S1 with S2. So S1 minus S2. So that if the value is 0, that means they are equal. If the value is higher than 0, positive number, that means S1 is higher than S2. If the result is a negative number, that means S2 is higher than S1. So that's how we compare strings. Since we don't use lesser than or equal, but we use strcmp. Then we have here str. So it's string inside a string. So this actually returns pointer, or that's the memory address, to the first occurrence of string S2 in string S1. So sorry with this one. So this is string S1. So where can we find S2 inside S1? So it returns the memory address. That's why it places here. It says here it's the pointer. Okay, so let's now have the example. Okay, so I have here an example program. So first I have here 3 strings. So we have the greeting 6 hello, 0, and then world. So there's a space here, str2. So I did not specify the length. Here I place here str3 with the length of 100, so that I can actually join these 2 strings. So what I did here first is to what? Here I copied the contents of greeting to str3. So if I'm going to print the contents of str3, then it should be the same as hello, as the contents of greeting. And then on the next one, I concatenate string 2 to string 3. So the contents now of str3 or string 3 should be hello followed by space world. So when we print the contents of str3, it should be printing hello world. So that should be that's our expected output. Then printf length of string 3 %d. So that's an integer because it is the length. strlen, so we use strlen for the length, str3. So if we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it excludes the null character. So the length is expected to be 12. And then on the next output, we have integer I equals 0. Then we compare greeting and str2. So h and word. But here we have space. Space, the ASCII code of space is actually 32, which is lower than h. So here we're expecting that this will give us a positive value because greeting is higher than str2. So we're expecting here in the first value by a positive value. Then printf the address of greeting. So we print the address. So that's why I place here %x so that it will be displaying a hexadecimal value. And then I use now str greeting e. So in what address can we find letter e inside greeting? So it should be in this address. So let's say, for example, the address of greeting is 100, then most probably e can be found at address 101. So the next consecutive address. So here we're going to find the address, then print the address, and we can also print the string starting from that address. So let's take a look at that. So you notice here I have here the address. I here is now the address. You will learn this from the output later on. So let's now execute the program. Okay, so let's take a look. Again, str3 greeting, so that's hello. So greeting message hello. That's the first output. Then we concatenated str2 to str3, and then again we print str3. This time around it displays hello world. And the next we printed the address. or no, the length of str3. So the length of string 3 is 12. So we have counted that a while ago. So 5 plus, we have here 7. So 12. And then here we compared greeting and str2. So it gives us a positive value, or in this case 1. So why? Because greeting is higher than str2. Because H here is higher, the ASCII code of H is higher than the ASCII code of space. And then here, printf the address. So this is the address of greeting 62FE10. So the address of this is 62FE10. And if you're going to try this in your computer, you may have a different address. So it depends on where the compiler will store the address. So in my case, it's 62FE10. And then I look for this string E inside greeting. So letter E is here, and the address. So if I store that in I, and then I print the value of I, so that is now 62FE11. So understandably, because this one is at 62FE10, so this should be a 62FE11. So that's the next address. And if we print the string starting from this address, so we have hello. Okay, so let's now try to make some changes. Let's say, for example, instead of the word, I remove the space here. So we're expecting changes, especially here. So let's try to run the program again. So you notice here now that H is lesser than W, or the word hello is lesser than world. If you're going to arrange that in alphabetical order, hello will be placed before world. That's why it is lesser. So greeting is lesser than str2. So that means we have here a negative value. Okay. So what if I change this one to letter L? So this will give us the first occurrence of letter L inside this string. So if we execute, so you notice here we have 62FE10. That's the address of the string. And if we're going to look for L, it is at this address. So if this is 10, 11, 12, so 62FE12. And if we print starting from that address, it will print LL0. Okay, so that's all for this video, and thank you for viewing this video.